folks. How are you? Hopefully you're having an awesome day. Oh, me. I've got to clear my deck here. Of course, you know, I should be doing this every time I'm live. And y'all know me. I don't. Because I end my lives and I'm like on to my next thing. And I don't clear my deck and get myself ready for my next live. What is that? Piece of brown paper, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I've got to vacuum in the studio today, so we just won't worry about it. We'll just close our eyes and not worry about it. Hello, how are you? Oh, me. Hopefully y'all are having a great day today. I'm going to pull us up and get us sprinkled out here. And I'm going to tell y'all, I've had a morning. It was a good morning until a few minutes ago. And then it was like, oh, this is a mess. Okay. Let me see here. Let me sprinkle the love. Oh, thank you. My little spooky cat shirt. Let me see. There. And there. Okay. I have sprinkled the love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sprinkling. Thank you for tagging folks. So today we're going to start something new. Well, I mean, a new painting. This is 20 minutes of Paint with You. My name is Amanda with Simply Flamazing Art, the Creative Course Collab. I'm a curator for the Creative Curiosities Paper and Notions Pack and a proud member of the Crafty Bunch. This is 20 minutes of Paint with You. And what is that? It's based on the rule of 100 hours, which states if you do something for 18 minutes a day, you'll be 95% better than anyone in your field. I say if we do something for 20 minutes a day, which is just an easy to time number. We do this Monday through Friday, typically at noon on my page, and we paint for 20 minutes to become 95% better than when we started. So I'm not interested in being better than anybody in my field. I'm just interested in being better than when I started, right? So for me to get better. Well, we're starting something new today, a new piece. I did not go live yesterday because I wasn't thinking. I had some appointments yesterday morning into the afternoon, and I should say morning and then afternoon, and I just could not fit it in. And I wasn't thinking to pre-record. I had completely forgot about one of them, one of an appointment, and so I dropped the ball, and I apologize for that. But I was live for 45 minutes on Monday, so technically that's 20 minutes. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We actually had fun in the Crafty Bunch on Monday. We were doing neon or neutral, and I thought, I'll do these neons, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, they were fun. But I had forgotten the specialities of the paints I was using, which technically wasn't necessarily neon. I was using these color shift paints. They're cool to work with. They're cool to paint with. They don't mix well together. So they're not one you do much blending or much mixing with the other. But we did this cute little witch. And you can maybe see her shift, her color shift. I don't know. I don't know if the camera picks it up per se, but maybe slightly. Anyway, we did her. She's kind of just a fun, whimsical piece. And so today, because tomorrow is Halloween and it's one of my favorites, and because Dee on here sent me this picture, and she was like, I don't know how to do this. And so I thought, well, that'd be a perfect thing to do for a 20-minute paint with me. So this is the picture that she sent me. And so the misty part is the part she was like, I'm not sure how to capture that. So we're going to give it a little go and see if we can get that fogginess in here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get us turned down now that I've cleared my deck and done all this stuff and get us started. So I hope y'all are having a fabulous Wednesday. Y'all, this morning, about half hour before I was supposed to go live, I was getting my stuff done. I was doing really well. You know, you have those like productive days. I'm off this week. I have a ton of stuff I want to get done. My list is longer than the week is long. But anyway, and that's doing multiple things in a day. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dee. That's doing multiple things in a day, not just one a day. Anyway, I was like working away. I went to put the clothes I had put in the washing machine last night and it was like washing, you know, overnight in the dryer. And I have like one of those, you know, those mud boot things that are rubber that like you put dirty boots and dirty stuff in at your door. I have one of those at the base of my washing machine and dryer where I put like the different soaps, you know, because I buy the big containers from Sam's, and so like the laundry detergent and the stuff, and the thing is packed. I ain't gonna lie, like there's all kind of like cleaning stuff there in that thing. Well, I look down and I can see like something's leaking. Yeah, the laundry detergent, the Tide was leaking. It had leaked all in the bottom of that. And so I had more than you know, I'd gotten one because it was on sale at Sam's, and I had set it on top of like something, and it had fallen a little bit, and it hit a box I had sitting on there, and I guess the box punctured it. And it had leaked all over. It was all in the bottom. It was all over the bottom of all of the other bottles that were in there. I'm like, this is the biggest mess I have ever seen. So, of course, you know, you find it like 20 minutes before you're supposed to be live. So I've got the containers sitting in my sink upstairs to be washed off. I washed off a few before I was like, I got to go. All right, let's start to get in a little bit of this gray background here, and then we'll start to work in some other stuff. But it did. I mean, it smelled all right. Although concentrated Tide it's a funny smell. Have to tell you, my husband walks in the kitchen and he is like, you know, and I'm washing it off, and he is like, he farted, and I'm like, no one. And he was like, what is that I'm smelling? He's like, it isn't. I said, the only thing I know it is maybe this Tide. Like maybe this Tide, we're gonna just start to stamp in. But then, you know, once you kind of like get it washed away, it's not so concentrated smelling. It does smell good. The kitchen smells clean. You know, the kitchen now smells like I have cleaned it. I'm like, huh. When you just need that, like, that clean smelling kitchen without all the work. Like, I might have learned something from my arsenal when you just need a fresh smelling house, right? company call last minute and they're on their way and you're like, oh my. You're like, you just need it to be like, look surface clean. Exactly. Air freshener to the rescue. Yeah, we don't do a whole lot of air fresheners. My husband, he has to complain about them. I like them. My husband hates them. So it's like, whatever. Whatever. You know. So we end up not doing a whole lot of those. We're just going to put in a little bit of this like gray stuff here. And we'll lighten it a little more as we go. And there you go. See what we're going to do. Kind of just laying in some of that. Yeah, sometimes they do get a little too strong. Like if I go to some, you know, a house that has a lot of it, I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. I'm like, that's strong. But, and the concentrated does get real strong too. Like, it's just Tide Original. It's none of the fancy stuff. I don't really like the fancy stuff. It's just Tide Original. I'm not a big fancy stuff person. So I don't get into all of the like this is and that's in my laundry detergent. I just like the normal stuff. And personally, I think like Downy in your laundry, you know, mixing it with that, I think it just ruins your clothes. I honestly never understood the thought behind apple pie scent mixed. Oh my word, dude, you're cracking me up, girlfriend. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. Totally get what you're saying. Yeah, that is a interesting combination. Like now I have found, but it's also a little bit strong, but it's not too bad if you use it correctly. I laugh because anyway, I have this like it's called Poof. And if you know, you know, and you know how to use it, right? And you like put it in the toilet first, right? Well, some folks don't know how to use it in my world and they like think it's like spray, like spray you spray. Oh my word. Oh, that gets a little like too much too. Hey, Brenda, how are you? We're just doing a little spooky scene here. I'm just putting in some indication of some trees. We're going to cover up some of that. So we're just talking about scents, really. And it kind of led to other stuff. But I had a mess this morning. But and as we were saying, it kind of has left my kitchen smelling really clean. My Tide leaked and leaked all into the plastic or rubber. It's made out of rubber thing I have in my laundry room in front of the washer and dryer that hold all of the bottles and stuff. It leaked all down into that thing and then on the bottles that were sitting in there. So I had to like wash them all off. So I have them sitting in my sink because I ran out of time because I had to be live. And so We're just putting some still moving dirt. Girlfriend. Well, now, what are you doing? What are you doing with this dirt? What are you filling in or creating? Like, are you making a garden or something? Or are you, what you doing? Inquiring minds want to know. So, wow. Well, I know it gets busy with Christmas and getting ready for Christmas and all of that. So, yeah. Wow, wow, wow. That's a long time to put it off, but I understand like having to do that. We're just creating some trees, guys. I don't know. We're just creating something that looks like a tree. It's going to actually be hanging out in the background. Hey, Cindy, how are you? So yeah, we will be here. So what you doing all the dirt moving for? Are you what you putting in? Or what you moving at, what you doing? Inquiring minds need to know, girlfriend. Inquiring minds. Big hole in the yard where the tornado took a huge tree out when I redid my deck and took the pool deck off. So I needs dirt. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna almost have to get some rock or something in there. You're gonna have to probably put some rock in the bottom of that. Or you're gonna always have a sinkhole. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean like a sinkhole that like just like goes deeper, but like the top level is always gonna dip. It needs some foundation. Yeah, it will do that, unfortunately. I have an area. It's not from a tree, it's just from whatever, really I don't know what it's from, tell you the honest truth, but it's like out near my mailbox that was constantly sinking and creating like mud holes that the postman would constantly drive through, which only made it like worse. But anyway, yeah, I need to sow some grass. Yeah. Anyway, it just I would fill it and it would just come right back in the matter of like hardly no time. It would come right back and I would just like, okay, it was a constant fight. And so I put some rocks in the hole and my husband was like, that ain't gonna work. I put big rocks in the hole and then I poured the dirt in around them. Haven't had a problem since. I haven't told him, but he knows it hasn't had a problem because he ain't had to fix it and I ain't had to fix it. So he knows it's worked. But I thought that was kind of funny. He was like, that's not going to work. And so, anyway. Oh, yeah, I have not set my timer. What am I thinking? All right, I'm 19 minutes in, but I cleaned up a lot before. I will do 10 minutes. I had clean up and I was chit-chatting and I was a few minutes late, so I'll do 10 minutes because we probably have already done 10 minutes or close to 10 minutes. Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't know. I got tired of constantly fixing it and I was just like, I want these rocks. I had some big rocks. I mean, not huge, but they're like, like this big. That I needed to get rid of, and I just like put them in the hole until it was almost, and then put the dirt in, and then put a little bit of the like gravel from the gravel road in on top, and it seemed to work. So I'm like, okay, that works. Uh, Anyway, just food for thought. But I know you done a lot of the work now. I wouldn't go back and like redo any of that. Just know if you start to get the sinkholes, try a few rocks in there and get a few rocks and put them in the hole and then put the dirt on top. But it might be fine. It probably will be. I mean, this is people driving over it, so it's not like it's grass in my yard. You know what I mean? Like where the UPS driver went in my yard that time, that worked just with dirt. We filled that in with dirt and that's been fine, but nothing drives over top of it. Barring a UPS driver doesn't decide to do that again. My driveway turned slightly. And let's just say he went down the driveway and didn't turn. Didn't do the slight turn that was necessary, and he just went into the yard. And then the more he sunk in because it's on a hill and he tried to get out, the more it just sucked him in. You know how that happens. When your tire, you don't have four-wheel drive and your tire gets like, it just will suck you into the ditch, right? Well, that's it. Just, and then he was right up against my tree. I have a weeping cherry tree. It's just a flowering cherry. It doesn't actually produce cherries. It's a friend gave it to me. And her and her husband gave it to me, and her husband's now gone. I call it Chris's tree. That's my name for it. It's Chris's tree. And that UPS driver was like, well, I can get out, but I'm going to back over your tree. And I'm like, no, you're not backing over my tree. I can tell you what you're not doing. Like, I don't care. Like, you're not backing over my tree. Like, I don't know whose head he bumped to think he could just back over my tree to get out. But, like, yeah. You touching that tree, that's gonna end in disaster. Like, and he had to end up. I tried with my truck pulling him out, but of course my truck is just a 1500, Chevy. Well, yeah. Anyway, it it wasn't gonna pull the UPS truck out. I tried, but I didn't want to like mess it up. So I finally was like, you're gonna have to just call a wrecker in here and get it out, right? And so he did not want to call it in. but he finally did. And the wrecker guy came out and I when he pulled up, I said, "Promise me, promise me that you can get this out without it." Because I mean, it was like the back of the truck was here, my tree was here, like the bendy over part of my tree, and it was like maybe this much space between him, hitting that part, and like it was like no space. Okay, see ya, Brenda. And it was no space between the two, no space. And I was just like, and the big old wrecker pulls up, and I was just like, please promise me that you're not gonna let him hit my tree. You're not gonna let it go back and hit my tree. He's like, I am not gonna let it go back and hit your tree. I was like, you promise me you're not gonna let it go back and hit my tree? He's like, I promise I'm not gonna let it go back. It's not gonna go back, not one bit. It's not gonna hit your tree. I was like, okay. And so, but the funniest thing is what my husband told the guy when after the wrecker got him like pulled up, and I was walking down, and my husband was there sitting there talking to the truck, the wrecker guy and the UPS guy, and as I was walking by, he was like, "I'm just glad y'all were able to get this out, and I didn't have to like had a UPS truck and a body on the same day." And I was like, he looks over at me and I'm like, don't look at me. I didn't know. He goes, if you had taken that tree out. I'm like, yeah, probably would have. Like, probably would have been really close to it. But he might give me a hard time, but he truly is my ride or die, I guess. But anyway, it would have been a very sad day. I would have been very upset. Like, that is my like most favorite thing in my yard is that tree. So I'm not gonna. I can't say that there's not some truth to that. Like, not that I probably would have, but that desire would have been there. Like, I'm not a violent person, but that would have been like that would have been the desire that it happened to my tree. Not even gonna sugarcoat it. Like, that's like one of my favorite things. And I got all upset when they did the survey when when the new people, well, this has been a few years ago now, they sold and the new people bought that house beside us and they did the survey. Our properties are like they're not square, like they're not like this. They go at angles, like really weird angles. And I guess maybe that's true for a lot of homes. I don't know. But they go at weird angles here. All of our properties do. And like part of the hill that you come up my driveway is like my neighbor's property, not my property. Not that he can even see it, not that he takes care of it grass wise or anything. Like that's all me and us. But he has like it's technically his property. And when they did the new assessment, because of course when these were done back in the when was it 96? I don't think they had the electronical equipment they have today. I mean, I know they don't or they didn't. And so, the lines shifted very, they like they're not in the same spot that they were. And um I'm gonna finish kind of this background so we don't have to go back to it tomorrow. Yes, yes. The darker in the front. There's a reason. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But there is definitely a reason for that. Um, but anyway, the line for where they say the new, or the quote unquote new line was not where the old line was. And it came awful close to my tree, but my tree is technically still in my yard, thankfully, because the line splits at the, like, that hill, somewhere in that, like, hill part coming up my driveway. And technically is still, I was like, if my tree is on his yard, or, like, I'm gonna be so upset. I've had that tree now. It was given to me when I graduated from UVA. And that was in 2004. So 20 years ago. That tree has been planted for 20 years. It is like this big around. You can't put your hands around it. It's a weeping cherry. And the weeping of the cherry is probably a 10-foot span. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so, but it is so pretty. Okay, so we kind of got our background going a little bit. We'll probably gray out a little more of this. Obviously, we're going to put a little more color in there because it is technically fall, right? And we've got all those beautiful fall leaves in there. I don't know what he thought. He was like, I think he was just thinking about not having to turn it in. I don't know. I don't know what he thought. It was 2020 because I was working from home, and when this happened. And anyway, so I don't know what the guy was thinking. I think the guy was just thinking he was trying to get out of like having to call and report it. I don't know. I don't know what the guy was thinking. He wasn't thinking. I can tell you what he was doing. He was not thinking. And so you can see how we're going to bring that in. We'll start to work on that probably tomorrow. And then we'll maybe finish it up on Halloween, which would be fun. So this is the start of our piece. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. He wasn't. And I mean, had he hit it, I mean, that was 4 years ago, but the tree was still big then too. So I don't know what he was thinking. Like, and maybe he just meant he could have just backed it down had the tree not been there. I don't know, and just misspoke. I don't know what his thoughts were, but I was like, you're not hitting my tree. You are not hitting my tree. So anyway, here's the sample, and here's ours. I think yours is looking pretty good, don't you think? I think so. We got to put a little more in there. We'll do that tomorrow. I will see you live tomorrow at noon. I hope to see ya. Anyway, y'all come and hang out with me for 20 minutes on Halloween, and y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.